Okay, so we're making an octopus. I know this is gonna be a very fast video, but like, it's late and I don't even know if it'll go through with uploading. So, stop chewing on the yarn! You're gonna swallow it and it's gonna hurt you guys again. It's not funny. They break out the bulky yarn and they want to swallow it whole. So start by putting 6 in your magic ring. Now, you can use a stitch marker, you don't have to. It's really all about counting. So, 6 in the magic ring, close it up with a slip stitch, and you want to make sure that you have 6 stitches exactly, or else the feet won't turn out right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, no, I did that wrong. It's 7 stitches, so that way you have 8 feet. Then you're going to want to increase around so you have 14. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Okay. Then you are going to close it up. Close up your magic ring, like seal it off, whatever you want to call doing that. Pull it very tight. And then tie 3 knots. Remember, 2 is good, but 3 is better. It can survive with only 2, but to make it child safe, you want to do 3. There. Okay. Now you're going to do, hold on. Having some technical difficulties. Singles all around twice. So you should place 28 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, and 28. Okay, and then you want to turn it the other way, like right side out, and do one more row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, and you should end up with something like this. Now this is the head, so it will be that way. Now you're going to go from 14 stitches down to 7 by putting 7 decreases. Right? Yeah. So every stitch you decrease, but you're going to do it in the front loops only. So normal decrease only in the front loops. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. It's very important that you only do it in the front loops, so that way you can then use those back loops to finish closing it. But now you're going to, off of that last decrease, chain 1, 2, 3, 4 up, and then in the same spot as that decrease, you're going to put a single crochet. And that is your first foot. Then 1, 2, 3, 4. In the next stitch, put a single. Remember to only stay in the front loops. You really need those back loops for sealing it up. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you repeat this until you have 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that makes 4 paws or pawns. 1, 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 3, 4. And that is the last pawn. And now you're going to slip stitch into the last hole, because you should have one open, which would be the start of your chain for the first pawn. It looks like this. Let me get the yarn out of the way. There's a little gap, and in that stitch right there, you're going to slip stitch the whole thing. Like all the loops. Okay, and now working on the inside, on the back loops of that last row, you are going to decrease. Which this can be a bit tricky to master, but once you've mastered it, it makes it so much prettier. But I do highly recommend stuffing it before you do that, or else it can get pretty hard. I use about this much stuffing, roll it up into a generous ball. and just stuff it in there. Should be nice and squishy, not too firm, not too empty. And decrease stitch. It's either 3 or 4 times, depending on how many spots you have, because depending on how you did your pawns can really affect this. Mine only requires 3 to get it to a decent closing point. And then you should leave it with a hole like that, so that way you can seal it up. Get your scissors, cut make sure you have enough to wrap it around the circle 3 times is basically my best knowledge of how to do it. Just twice, 3. So I will cut right there. Okay, and so it should be about this much. Pull your string straight up, then go through and find all of the little spots that you have remaining and act like you're going to chain, but pull it through every single loop. Oops, I forgot one. There we go. This will just give it some extra strength if you do all of the loops. But don't pull on that string any until you've got all these loops incorporated, because it will look really wonky. And then once you've got it wrapped all in, pull the string straight. If you pull it at an angle, it won't work. And once it's fully closed, it should look like this. Now I like to stick my hook in a stitch across from it and pull the yarn through to make like a chain, and then pull more yarn through that just to make sure it's fully secured. Now the reason I said to leave it a little bit squishy like this is for stuffing this extra yarn in. Remember, not 3 times. Okay, and then go up through your magic circle, like straight through to wherever you fastened the end. I think that's what it's called. It might be a little difficult with some yarns, like this one that I'm currently using, but it kind of all depends on how much stuffing you have. And then you're just gonna use your hook to pull that string inside of your octopus, the entire thing. It might take a little bit, take some trial and error to get the right angles, but this will save you on stuffing. Not much, but if you're broke, you need every cent. I find it easiest to move my hook in a circular motion, and that usually just pulls all the yarn in at once. And once you get all the yarn ends in, squish it a little bit before you pull out your hook and twist while you're pulling, and then turn your hook so that way it will pop out without any yarn on it, like so. And there you go, you have an unembroidered octopus. Now I will be showing you how to embroider it, but you're gonna have to hold for a second because I gotta find my sewing needle. That's what it's called. You can do it with a hook. Actually, I'm gonna do it with a smaller hook. This one. Yeah, this one will bend too easy. The original hook I was using was a L. I'm now using an F. Okay. Grab your yarn about this much, about a foot. Roughly, because that's definitely not a full foot. It's no, that is a full foot. Okay, stick your hook in. The spot where there's still a hole is going to be the back. Stick your hook in 1, 2, 3, 4 bumps up directly in the center and pull it out wherever you want that first eye to go. I want mine here, so 1, 2, 3. I recommend doing it about 3 stitches up and directly across. Hook your yarn and pull it. Oh, I'm caught on stuffing. You gotta be careful so you don't get caught on stuffing. Pull it straight through. Some stuffing will come out, that's normal. It can be retucked. Then pull it till you have about an inch. Then pull it out just a hair more. You need that much. Just 2 knuckles worth. Okay? You can use any color you want. Then, where your long piece is, take your hook and put it in that stitch and go over 1 and pull it through so that way the yarn goes around it. Do that 4 times in total. It can be a bit hard to perfect, but once you've got it, you will never unlearn. Unless you're me. 2, 3, excuse my language. 3, 4. Okay, so once you've got your 4, you should have about this much string left. We are going to pull through, count 1, 2, 3 bar stitches over, like 3 spots where you can see holes. There should be 2 holes, and put your hook in the next hole over, and then pull your yarn through to that side and repeat the process again. I did not get enough yarn. But that is okay. So I'm just going to, once you are done, this is what you'll be doing. Follow your hook along the edge of the thing and pull your yarn tail all the way through to the other side and tie it off. One, 2, 3. Okay. And then just pull at the front wherever you put yarn, and it should come through pretty easily. But if it doesn't, just take your hook, grab your yarn by its tails, and pull it in. Okay, this is what he's looking like so far. Not too good with that left eye, but that's just because I didn't have enough yarn, so I'm going to pull about the same amount. And I am going to put my hook back into the spot where it was, but this time I'm going to go down a row for the mouth. Okay, and then stick your hook one spot, one hole, go to the next one, and put your hook down a row into where the middle hole would be, and pull it up. That'll make one half of your mouth. Then pull it back down over that spot where you just pulled through, and pull it through the same hole that you just pulled it through. And usually this would be where you stop, you pull it through the back and you fasten it off, but since I messed up on that eye, I am going to pull it through up here and add just a few more layers, just that way it's cute. Now I do recommend going over your mouth 1 or 2 times just to be sure it doesn't disappear when you're tying off. So I'm going to do that also. Okay, and then tie it off 3 knots. 1, 2, 3, and pull it into your creation, into the octopi. And it's going to look kind of wonky, so give it a few squishes, make sure everything is nice and round. And there we go. It should look like this when you're done. It requires so little yarn. Like, I don't know how the exact amount of yards, but it requires so little. I can get about 15 out of a jumbo ball of bulky yarn. Or is it just a normal ball? It's the Bernat blanket yarn that I usually use. This is respun reclaimed yarn, which is really good for the environment. It's a beautiful brand. I love it so much. This is the purple variant of it. I have blue here somewhere. Highly recommend. It's beautiful. It makes such great octopi. Can be a bit tricky to learn how to work, but once you get it, you'll fall in love. I forgot to introduce myself at the beginning of the video, so I'll do it while I pack up. My name is Nicholas, and if you want to stick around, please consider subscribing or leaving a like, so that way it'll be easier to find me in your little vlogs. And if you are just passing through, like many of you guys are, then I hope to see you again in a future video. Don't forget, you are loved. Go get a drink, go get some water, step outside, get some fresh air, but be safe. Touch some grass though. I love you, my flowers. I will see you in the next video, and I will be sharing the time that I will be going live in that video, because I haven't decided yet. I haven't decided a date. But yeah, love you guys.